Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm in Russia in a city called Yekaterinburg, and in this video I'll show you top things to do as a tourist in Yekaterinburg. Yekaterinburg is the fourth largest city in Russia with a population of 1.5 million people. It is ranked third by the size of its economy, diverse culture, and quality of transportation. The city is located between the Volga-Ural region and Siberia and is considered to be a strategic connection between Europe and Asia. The average net salary per month after taxes, pension deductions, and health deductions is $760. The city was founded in 1723 and named after Yekaterina I, the wife of the Russian emperor at that time. Its rich history makes it one of the desirable spots to visit in Russia. So I'm traveling with my friend Irina, say hi, and we are on the way to visit the first location that we were planning to see, the church on Blood. The church on Blood was built on the site where Nicholas II, the last emperor of Russia, was killed with his family by the Bolsheviks in 1918. The elimination of the royal family helped Bolsheviks to further strengthen their grip on the power. So let's see the place. In the early 20th century, Russian Empire lost a war with Japan and then was dragged into World War I, which led to economic downturn and instability. People were tired of the wars and lost their trust in the monarchy. Because of that, Bolsheviks party became more and more popular and was able to organize a revolution in 1917 to overthrow the monarchy. The Russian imperial family was captured and eventually moved to Yekaterinburg. There they had been imprisoned in an Ipatiev house. Later, they were executed by the Bolsheviks on June 14, 1918, and buried on the outskirts of Yekaterinburg. The Ipatiev house was used as a museum, an archive, and then demolished in 1976. When the Soviet Union fell, residents of Yekaterinburg asked the local government to build a cross on the place where the Romanov family was killed to commemorate them. In 2003, the church in Blood was built. Now this church is one of the main touristic attractions in Yekaterinburg. It also attracts Orthodox pilgrims, not only from Russia, but from all around the world. The church is built in the Russian Byzantine style. The architect wanted the church to symbolize the connection of the time and the revival of the Orthodox tradition in Russia. Yekaterinburg is also the hometown of the first president of Russia, Boris Yeltsin, and there is a museum dedicated to him, Yeltsin Center. He was the president from 1991 to 1999. He is a controversial political figure in Russia. Some people consider him a great president and praise him for the most democratic time in Russia. However, some people heavily criticize him for playing an instrumental role in the dissolution of the Soviet Union and the inability to facilitate a smooth economic transition from a command economy to a market economy. The museum displays key events of the 90s and gives a great feel of that time. I remember all these products when I was little. My mom tells me that they were very hopeful in the beginning of the 90s. I did not expect the crisis to hit so hard. When the Soviet Union collapsed, the economy contracted by 40% and the unemployment rate was peaking at 13%. The economy was able to recover only by 2000 and had a great growth up until 2014. After the museum, we decided to go for an early dinner at restaurant Vertical. This restaurant is located on the 51st floor and has an amazing view of the city. I ordered a pot of herbal tea and fish with mushrooms and vegetables. It was absolutely delicious. And the check was 1,200 rubles, which is about $16. Today is my day 2 in Yekaterinburg. Irina has left, she was with me only for one day. And today my plan is to spend the day in the center of the city. And I'm going to show you the red line box today. The red line is a thing that I think was done by the city. It's a line that's drawn directly on the asphalt, and it takes you to 35 different locations, historical locations. It could be buildings, monuments, sculptures that are located in the center of the city and make your life easier as a tourist. All the locations have boards like this one that tell a little bit about history. The first location is this beautiful house. It was built in the beginning of the 19th century and belonged to the mining official Sevastyanov. That's the red line, and it takes you along the beautiful Iset River. People in Russia love coffee. There are many coffee shops all over the city. I got myself here a nice hot chocolate with banana flavor. On my way, I saw this beautiful wooden house. It was built in the 19th century and it is a museum now. I like this delicate wooden work. Wooden houses used to be very popular in Russia. Next is a Rastorgui Kharitonov mansion built in 1794. The owner was one of the richest merchants in the region. Now it is the Palace of Student Art. This is the Ural State University building. Next, we see a theater of opera and ballet. This beautiful Baroque-style theater was opened in 1912. Every season, there are Russian and international premieres that take place here. The territory around it is also very beautiful. After a long walk, I stopped for lunch at a Georgian restaurant, Khmeli Suneli. It has a cozy and welcoming setting. They also have 2 parrots here, but they were sleeping when I was recording. I ordered 2 classic Georgian dishes: badrujani, which is made with eggplant stuffed with spiced walnuts and garlic paste, and hinkali with lamb meat. I think that's the way you're supposed to eat hinkali, but let me know if I'm doing it wrong in the comments. This is a monument to the founders of Yekaterinburg, Tatishev and Degini. By the order of the Emperor Peter I, they developed and built a metallurgical factory in 1723. Around this factory, the city of Yekaterinburg was founded. The first railroads in Yekaterinburg were constructed in 1878. This water tower was built to service the railroad's fire safety. This tower is preserved in its original form. It is located right in front of the northern part of the Iset River. This dam was also built in 1723 to provide power to the metallurgical factory. On the left, there is a relief sculpture. It depicts the process of creating the city. In the center, there is an official who signs documents, and on the right, there are workers who had to build the city, and we see their strong bodies and struggle on their faces. There he is, Lenin. I think every single city in Russia has a sculpture of Lenin in the central square. While Lenin and most Soviet politicians are heavily criticized, common opinion in Russia is that monuments should not be demolished because it's our history. What do you think about it? And finally, I'm on Viner Street, a 1.5 kilometer long street only for pedestrians with a lot of shops and restaurants located right in the center of the city. The street is decorated with numerous iron-cast sculptures scattered around. Furthermore, the street is one of the oldest in the city and has many architectural monuments from the 19th and early 20th centuries. And I'm finishing my red line walk here. Today is my final day in Yekaterinburg. It's a little bit rainy outside, so I decided that I'll go shopping. Maybe I'll show you some local brands. And later in the evening, I'm gonna go see opera. I went to the shopping mall that was closest to my hotel. It was about 10 minutes walk. I was surprised to see some foreign brands. For example, I saw Armani Exchange and Michael Kors as soon as I entered. These are some Russian brands. I would say they don't look any different from what you see in Western malls, but what stands out in Russia for me is winter outwear. We have a great variety and higher quality of outwear than in the US, for example, and I guess that's because we have longer winter and higher demand for that. I always try to buy my winter clothing when I'm in Russia. My observation is that this mall has 50% of foreign brands and 50% of Russian brands. After shopping, I decided to stop by Burger King. I got myself a nice burger, and it was just as good as in the US. Later in the evening, I went to the Opera House, which I had already shown you earlier, to see the Passenger Opera by Mieczysław Weinberg. It is based on a Polish radio play written by a concentration camp survivor, Zofia Pasmis. The story is about a concentration camp prisoner and an SS guard. If you want to see opera or ballet in Russia, the best historical theaters are definitely in Moscow and St. Petersburg. This theater is less fancy, but this opera was fantastic anyway. There was a screen with English subtitles on the side, which is really nice. Thank you for watching and see you in my next videos.